A political activist in Guyana petitions the court to force the government to resign. And in sport, captain of the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force team laments his side's poor batting performance. I'm Ricardo Roberts, and this is Caribbean in 10 for Wednesday, January 9, 2019. I'll be back with the details after the break. A political activist in Guyana is calling on the High Court to immediately order President David Granger and his government to resign and call fresh general elections as the fallout continues from last month's no-confidence motion. In his affidavit, Christopher Ram states that a quick resolution of the matter is of most urgent national importance. He says the failure of the cabinet, including the president, to resign and to fix a date for elections no later than March 21st, 2019 has led the country into uncertainty and will lead to a constitutional crisis. Although the government is challenging the validity of the vote, Ram is asking the court to declare that it is valid and force the government to step down. He contends that a constitutional crisis and the uncertainty and instability resulting from it are likely to cause investors to be reluctant to invest in the country and could have dire consequences for democracy and the rule of law. President Granger and opposition leader Barra Jagdeo are due to meet today to discuss the fallout of the no-confidence motion, with Jagdeo already indicating that his priority will be general elections. Venezuela has disputed Guyana's account of what it said was a dangerous incursion into local waters after a ship hired by U.S. oil company ExxonMobil was intercepted by a Venezuelan naval vessel late last month. Vice President Delcy Rodriguez said yesterday she had concrete evidence contradicting Guyana's version of the incident. Now, in a statement to the National Assembly last week, Guyana's Minister of Legal Affairs Carl Greenwich said that the two vessels under contract by ExxonMobil and its partners were intercepted by the Venezuelan Navy in the disputed Essequibo. But Rodriguez has insisted that the ships had trespassed into waters in Venezuelan territory over which there is no dispute. She showed documentation and played radio communications allegedly recorded by the Venezuelan Navy as it encountered one of the ships and insisted that they both made it clear that the incident did not occur in disputed waters, but in waters under Venezuela's jurisdiction. Rodriguez also accused the David Granger government of violating agreements signed by both countries by granting concessions to foreign companies such as ExxonMobil. The Guyana or the Jamaica government says it will enact special legislation that will allow it to forcibly retake the 49% stake held by Venezuela in state-owned oil refinery Petrodram. PDV Carib, an affiliate of the state-owned Petroleas de Venezuela S.A. and the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica, entered a joint venture agreement which resulted in the sale of Petrodram shares in August 2006 and February 2007. Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith told a news conference yesterday that the agreement had called for the upgrading and expansion of the refinery to improve its competitiveness and meet local and international market demands, but those objectives were not met, and this poses a risk to the economy. Now, she explained that after signing a letter of intent in January 2017 and a refinery upgrade agreement in February 2018, Venezuela had not fulfilled its obligations, and Jamaica made a formal offer to buy back the Petrotram shares in March 2018. But those efforts have not borne fruit, and she said that Jamaica's decision to retake the Petrotram shares was based on economic and national considerations and not political. Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt has again made it clear that his government is not ruling out the possibility of taking legal action against the Ross University School of Medicine. The offshore medical school announced its departure from Dominica in August 2018 after 40 years and has relocated to Barbados, where classes began on Monday. In an interview aired yesterday evening, Skerritt maintained that Ross should compensate Dominicans who made investments to provide services to the school.
Pursue Ross where compensation is concerned. We had a lease agreement with Ross, and Ross broke the lease unilaterally. And there are several of our citizens who would have invested based on the lease with Ross, specifically to Ross. And I believe that we may very well pursue Ross where compensation is concerned.
And stay with us, your Midday Sport is next.
The story in this case certainly centers around a theme of anti-Semitism. You know, it's hard to believe in this country that there are still people running around hating people because they're Jewish or because they're black or whatever is their protected status. But in this particular case, you know, the County of Madera is certainly off the beaten path of major metropolis cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco.
Now you want to add your green seasoning and just a little bit more water. And I'm going to cover it again. So before I put the cover on it this last time, I lowered the heat to medium because I didn't want it to stick. So it's starting to cook nicely now. I think the rice is cooked actually.
Trinidad and Tobago Red Force captain Dinesh Ramdin has branded his side's batting in both innings as unacceptable after they crashed to a heavy 245-run defeat to Leeward Islands Hurricanes on Monday. Now set 342 to win at the Brian Lara Stadium. Red Force began the final day on 26 without loss, but capitulated quickly for a paltry 96 all out 15 minutes into an extended first session. They looked in decent shape at 72 for 2, but lost their 8 wickets for just 24 runs. Now, speaking with the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday newspaper, Ramdin lamented, and I quote, that our bowlers fought hard on that wicket, but losing 6 wickets in a morning session on Sunday was unacceptable. Then losing all 10 wickets for under 100 runs as a professional unit is not acceptable. Guys have to take more ownership, especially some of the senior guys. Now look at Jeremy Solizano. He batted really well. It's for the guys to get starts. End quote. Now, Ramdin, in his first match after returning from Windies duty, urged his batsmen to spend more time at the crease. Red Force travelled to Kingston later this week to take on Jamaica Scorpions in their 4th round match at Sabina Park. And that's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.